Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here in week 8. Thank y'all if y'all have to jumping into this one from our previous two videos. We got two games that we're gonna hit on just real quick to get out of here before the week and before the week ends, and then get into the games this weekend. First game we want to hit into real quick is Oklahoma going on the road at South Carolina. Oklahoma took a pretty bad loss to Texas in the Red River rivalry last weekend. And, we go into it and you got a quarterback coming back from a broken hand. He was that was a couple weeks out from surgery, a couple days actually. You can count it down to days before coming back and, getting taped up because stitches tore on the sideline and all this and that. And now you got to go on the road to go take on I'll say interesting, but I will at the same time say bad South Carolina team in the month of October. Anything could happen. Y'all see the banner. It is October. I'm still living it. South Carolina is in a position right now where you're stuck in the same position you were in at this point in time last season, and going into a game, the exact same game where the switch flipped last season also. Whereas last year you went on after the Bama game, you went on the road and beat Oklahoma in their house pretty handedly, and that kicked off the 6 game winning streak. And now you got Oklahoma coming to you, pretty battered on offense. Now they're still explosive, but you're hampered by a quarterback, and it's I think a very 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 tell sign when you're rushing your star quarterback back last week, who just broke his throwing hand, because in my opinion it's because you're scared, you don't want to start the number 2 guy. You're saying that by all means, whatever we can do to get our guy back, we do not want number 9 touching the field and being the backup quarterback and him being the starter. And you definitely don't want to do that on the road at Willie B. This is still another environment that's even when we lose, Willie B is still loud. People still gonna turn up, and the fair is going on right now. Hey, I think the tailgating and the fairgrounds lots opens at 9 a.m. on Saturday for a 12:45 kick. So you got angry South Carolina fans, you got people full from the fair, a lot of alcohol involved. It's gonna be a rowdy environment. Don't think because we lost the last week to LSU on the road that this is gonna be some watered down version of Willie B. They gonna be in there rocking and ready to roll. But South Carolina did the one thing that I've been preaching, well, the one of two things that I've been preaching for them to do, and that's get rid of this O-line coach, because we've been dealing with him for 4 years now. It's never been fixed. I understand the recruiting, understand everything else, but the on-field results have just not been there. You have not been top 12 in the SEC with O-line play in the past 4 years. That's you can't win like that. You just cannot. So already, you had a press conference. Shane says that Sean Elliott's out there. He's screaming at guys and headbutting. And this is a coach and an O-line coach that South Carolina used to have, where he was out there banging his head in the players during warm-ups. They got helmets on and he got just a ball cap on, and you banging heads with them, bringing the energy. And I think that's what they need. So you see the difference in that. So he's run game coordinator, offensive line coach. I think that's the biggest thing, because I've been saying all year, if the O-line plays decent, I'm not even asking for okay. I'm not asking for good. I'm not asking for excellent. I'm saying if you play decent, this is a team and you've got the quarterback that can make things happen. If you just give him 2 more seconds of time or a clean pocket, then you can get this offense going. Your defense is playing good. You went on the road to LSU, got 3 turnovers. You held them to 20 points. That's an LSU team with their own problems. But still, you did that on the road in a night environment. You've got a defense that's playing the way they're supposed to be playing in this day and age. So going into this game, Oklahoma's now 5.5 point favorite. I think that's just because of off of question marks around South Carolina. To me, one of these next 3 games for South Carolina will be a win, and it's always Oklahoma, Bama, and on the road at Ole Miss. One of these is going to kick off something, because it happens every year. We've been saying it. It's this Shane Beamer's tendency. I said at the beginning of this season, as you go through the season, when you get to the middle of October through November, that's when the South Carolina's team every single year, no matter how bad they've been, gets dangerous. This is probably your most likely win if you're going to win one, just because of the question marks that Oklahoma's bringing in on offense and who's going to be quarterback and how the quarterback plays. The defense is going to be good, defense travels, so on and so forth. But if South Carolina, for some reason, and they've proven to me that they cannot, but if you can score more than 21 points in this ball game, you win. I think that happens in this ball game. Now, Prediction time. Damn it, it's Cocktober. South Carolina's going to win. South Carolina's going to knock off Oklahoma. This is what starts it. We get back on track
Trigger.
in this game. Everything in my brain was telling me, hey, this is not going to happen. Trust what you've seen with your eyes, but it's Cocktober. It's sitting right here behind me. It's Cocktober. Oklahoma's going down. Brent Venables, no trust in him. He used to be a tater up in the upstate defense coordinator up there. We don't like him to begin with from there. So, hey, give me South Carolina winning this ball game 28-17, and we'll see y'all next week for South Carolina Bama coming off of a win. I'm on it. I'm on it. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? To be honest with you, Van and Sean, this is why I love doing this podcast with you right here. Because to be honest with you, 10, 15 minutes ago, I didn't really understand how important this game was. It's almost the
Yeah.
same way the Florida and Texas game was. Until I put my eyes on that game, I was like, you know what? I'll watch that one game later. Ain't that important in this season. But right now, I'm gonna start from South Carolina's standpoint, Van. You hit on so many good points. You hit on the perfect points of this game. And just to put the cherry on top of it, added to everything you're saying, this is a Lenore Sellers game.
Yeah.
This is put on the cape. I'm standing up with the S on my chest, and I'm not losing this game. Because you're catching Oklahoma in a key point of their season. And at a home game in Columbia, that's tough. That's tough for anybody, man. I promise you, I'm putting South Carolina in my top 5 toughest stadiums in the country. Just because I've been there and I grew up there and I've seen what can happen in that stadium right there. I've seen the greatest Bama teams go down there and lose. So it's gonna be interesting the next couple weeks for Bama. We're gonna talk about that soon. But for Oklahoma and Brent Venables, Sean and Van, find me another team that has the hardest schedule in the country starting this week, going for the rest of the country, going for the rest of the season. Find me another one. Chat, comment section. Find me another team that has a tougher schedule that has tougher teams on their schedule than Oklahoma. If you lose this game right here to South Carolina, I'll go ahead and say it. I'll stamp it. You're probably going to lose 90% of the rest of your games this season. And it's because you actually did too much with your quarterback last week in the Red River rivalry. I understand it's an important game, but it's a non-factor when I'm thinking of how my quarterback is hurt. I'm not going to lose my season over one game, even if it is that game. I'm not going to do it. So now I got my team in a hole we got to dig ourselves out of. Because we talked about it. You cannot lose these two type of games. More than this, you're done. You cannot lose a conference game and a non-conference game in the same season. You're not doing it no more. You're out of here. You've already lost your conference game. If you lose the second conference game, you're not making the SEC championship. It's going to make it hard for Oklahoma to make the playoffs. It's so important, this game right here for Oklahoma. I don't see them getting it done. Prediction time. I do not see Oklahoma coming down to South Carolina. It's a situation. How many times have Oklahoma played in South Carolina?
That's a good question.
How many times have that happened? Venables is the only person that's coming into this game with true experience about what that stadium is going to be like. And you can't talk that to your team.
Right.
They got to experience that. They've experienced some big SEC type of stadiums before, but South Carolina is different. And you got a quarterback on the other end. They just saw you lose to Arch Manning. Wow. If I'm South Carolina, I'm confident.
Yeah.
I'm confident. One of the biggest things that happen for a team is there's always a season-changing moment. And it's usually getting that elephant in the room out of here. Get rid of that offensive line, Coach Van. I think it's going to be a huge turning point for this team. And what I hope what happens is Beamer puts his hands on the offensive line for real, and then he coaches them himself. And get more involved in the offensive scheme and what they're trying to get done. Because I think we saw glimpses last week versus LSU about what this team can really be. Mm-hmm. I think they've got to put it all together against Oklahoma, man. I got South Carolina winning this game by 6. I was about to say a little more than that, but I got 6.
Real quick, Sean, before you start. This is the second time they've ever played. They've never come to Willie B. Last was the first time South Carolina has played Oklahoma, and they played at Oklahoma. This is their first time. Yeah. Go
I
ahead,
was
Trent.
trying to cook up a win. I'm not trying to put that in my food. I'm not
Right.
trying to do it.
Well, look, y'all. Listen, South Carolina's gonna win this game, and I'm going completely outside of stats. I'm going completely outside of gameplay. I'm going straight up coaching. Okay, straight coaching. I'm not saying Shane Beamer is Nick Saban, but what I'm saying is Brent Venables and Oklahoma fans. If any of y'all listening, please come for me when I say this. Please come for me because I'm stating facts. No reason y'all should have played y'all quarterback last week. You messed up in a couple of ways. And I cannot believe you didn't think about this. You actually had a loss that you could have took a loss. If you started your backup, you could have took that loss and taken another loss or two and still made the playoff because the committee is taking into account players that impact players that are not playing. Why did you play him in this game? I get it. You didn't want to lose the game. You didn't want to lose a rivalry. I understand all that, but it's not the goal to win a championship. You just took a loss that you did not. You took the loss. You should have taken the loss. You could have taken a loss and still been in position.
Right.
You chose
He took the worst L, the worst version.
You took the worst L you could have taken. You know what I'm saying? Now my quarterback was out, Carl. You can't even play that one no more. So if you end up with another loss, which you're gonna have, you don't have that argument anymore. My buck stops right there with Brent Venables in why in the world did he even do that? Now I'm not saying that his quarterback was the reason why they lost the game, but he obviously was not at 100%. What's better? Your starter at 75% or your backup at 100 in a game that you can actually lose without your starter playing to keep your playoff hopes alive. I am completely bothered by that. The fact that he didn't have someone in his corner to even advise him to sit old boy down and let the backup play in that game. Understanding this is chess, not checkers, bro. You playing checkers. Everybody else in the SEC playing chess, man. Get the hell out of here. I'm done.
Yeah. But you say 75% real quick. I would say 75% to start the game. When he took that hit on that thumb, he probably went down to like 50, 40 some percent. Like like you can almost see it in his like charisma, like his moxie, his pride, his ego that he usually plays with was like just like damper. Like you just put a wet towel on his fire, and it was just like, you know what? You're in the game, but you're not in the game. And I thought that's what you saw last week. So I think for the rest of the season, you have to play him.
Now you gotta play him.
You have to play him. And like you said, you can afford that loss. Let's paint that picture for the fans. If I lose to Texas, right, I can still make the SEC championship. If I'm in the SEC championship, I can lose the SEC championship and still have a better chance of making the playoffs than what you just did.
Yep.
Than what you just did.
Yeah. It was a
categorical mistake. Can happen, and it's gonna be like you lost against Texas with your starting quarterback versus the discussion or the debate about losing against Texas with your backup quarterback. It just makes the overall narrative over Oklahoma that much more of a bargaining point, which is what you got to get to at the end of the season.
Correct.
There's going to be 3 lost SEC teams that are going to need a true bargaining chip to try to get in, and you're making your bargaining chip that much worse.
Yeah, and they lost theirs. It was a legitimate personnel nightmare decision that Brent Venables made. And I can't understand why he wasn't thinking. Like you making a lot of money, man. You got to be thinking on down the road. Now I get it. All y'all coaches be talking about some, the next game. This is the most important game on the schedule. Well, yeah, we all know it is. You need to win the game, but the way college football is being played right now, we all understand there are certain losses you can take, and you can take and still get there.
Yeah,
man, listen, y'all gonna
let's do real quick. South Carolina, we said L. Ole Miss, what y'all got?
For we talking about
Oklahoma.
They're gonna lose to them.
L.
Tennessee, at Tennessee.
That'll be a good one, but at Tennessee,
that may be an L too.
It might be.
That's a toss up to me. At Bama,
L.
Losing now.
Missouri coming in them. I give
They
them
might,
that.
they might
LSU.
win. And LSU, they might win.
So we had to stay at best case scenario. We're adding with this weekend 2 more losses outside of this. So we're a 4-loss Oklahoma team.
Yeah.
At end of the regular season. Go ahead, Brent Venables.
Yeah.
And he was on the hot seat last season.
Yeah.
Before they beat Bama.
But my thing is, you
Talking about
had
getting him up out of there.
3 weeks ago, you had a Heisman Trophy quarterback.
Yeah. Best quarterback in the country.
And we really had the discussion. It's going to be on College Game Day if they lose this weekend, next weekend for College Game Day for Ole Miss. But it's going to be on College Game Day about Brent Venables dropping this ball.
Yep.
Dropping this ball. So for
it happened in the Texas game.
With October, get a dub this weekend for Oklahoma. I want to see the landslide for Oklahoma. Because Van saying that Oklahoma at South Carolina in the next 3 weeks don't get a win. Go ahead and get out the way.
Hey, I'm gonna say it now. We ain't got no river to go take the goalpost down and go dump it in, but we can go tear up the bushes and then go invade the fairgrounds after this win. So that's what's gonna happen for this one. I give you that. I give you that one there. All right, real quick. Second game we want to touch on. We got Vandy and LSU. Vandy is back after a bye week, taking on LSU at home. Vandy is favored against a top 10. This is a top 10 opponent. Well, I think LSU's sitting at 11?
10.
Oh yeah, top 10, first time since 78. I'd say this is an interesting game for me. I think LSU, even though they got the win against South Carolina last week, LSU did everything in their righteous mind to lose the game last week to South Carolina. You can't play like that on the road. I understand, Vic, our friend, he commented on the live talking about they still had 400 yards of offense and this and that. But look at that game and look at everything. I'm telling you right now, LSU did everything possible to lose the game last week to South Carolina. South Carolina just had 15 or so penalties that took them out of yardage to take that game last week. But you cannot do that on the road. Vandy is still the team. They took the L to Bama, but I tell you what, they are still the same confident team. Diego Pavia still believes they are a playoff team. They only got 1 loss. You look at all the other factors, they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're at home. They're playing confident. All of their stats and everything say to that. Now you're going in there with a dominant defense, but I just do not trust LSU's offense to be any type of conscious right now in the season until they prove something different. And Brian Kelly seems to have been, by this point of the season, if they're usually bad on defense, they're bad on defense the rest of the year. If they're good on offense, they're good on offense the rest of the year, and vice versa. So the fact that they're still a offensive team that's struggling to get above 20 points and dominate opponents and really trusting their defense to carry them through these ball games, I think will get them hemmed up right here. I hate to say it, I really do, because I've got Vandy taking some more losses this year, but I think Vandy wins this one. I really do. I can feel it. I think if this was at LSU, I'll tell you the same way I told you it was during the Bama game. Bama was going to win that game for the mere fact that they were at home. That it happened. I think if LSU was at home, they would beat Vandy. But the fact that you're going on the road, you got Nussmeier today in a press conference talking about something. Yeah, Brian Kelly had to come to him to tell him to play with more swagger and get his mind right and his mental state right and all this and that. It's just, to me, it's not a good sign. It's not. The run game is still a big question mark. You're passing the ball good. You got a 6'7" giant that's being used the way Nick Harbor should be used, South Carolina. But you've got all these other pieces that are working. But for whatever reason, it's not clicking. And I don't think you figured it out. If last week was the week to figure it out against a bad South Carolina team, that's when you should have figured out what your offense needs to be doing to fix what it is. Forget the 400 yards, Vic. Get that out of here. I'm telling you right now, there's some problems right now at LSU on the offensive side of the ball, and I got Vandy winning this one by. I give it by 3. Give me a 21. Vandy wins will score 21 in this game, and hopefully they don't run it up because they've been known to do that against some opponents when they get in that fourth quarter. But Vandy wins this one against LSU, which is shocking for me to say. It's still
right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Go, y'all take it away.
Hey, I'll take it like this though. I'm gonna say my punchline at the beginning, and I'm gonna take y'all on a journey. My punchline is this game is more about Vandy than it is about LSU. That's my punchline. Now let's go for a ride. Now, Vandy, for my instance with this game right here, you're going to win because the way you're going to beat LSU is not by attacking their strong points. You're going to hit them where they weak at, and that's in their gut, that's in their chest. So, LSU fans, Vic in particular, y'all doing it.
Oh, I'll be attacking Vic.
Y'all do this every year. Y'all doing it. Y'all doing it. Y'all overlooking somebody. It's happening. Go ahead, Vic. It's happening right now. But look, LSU fans, you do it every single year. You overlook a particular opponent at a particular point of your season. You're looking at Texas A&M and you're looking at Bama. You're saying, what are we going to do for Texas A&M? What are we going to do for Alabama? And Vandy is going to punch you in your gut and you're going to be froze like a Dragon Ball Z character. It's going to hurt and it's going to sting. So, the journey. Let's go back to this round time last year. October 5th, 2024. What did Vandy do last year? They shocked the world when they beat Alabama. They're going to have the same type of recipe this year versus LSU in their stadium at a 12 o'clock kickoff. Because it's writing itself so well. LSU, so hyped. I don't know why. Why are they so hyped? Because they beat South Carolina? No. What have y'all done this season to say that y'all gonna beat Vandy? That's my thing. They're like, we gotta beat Vandy. That's how we thought last year. We gotta beat Vandy. This is easy. No, you don't. Vandy's a different team. They can beat you by draining the clock. They can beat you by being a more disciplined team, and they can beat you by taking advantage of your head coach and your turnover-worthy quarterback. Do not let Garrett Nussmeier go in this game and throw the ball 2 times to Vanderbilt. They're going to keep the ball for 35 minutes if he turns the ball over. You're done for. I don't see this game being a 40-35 win, but this game is way more about Vanderbilt than it is about LSU. Vandy is coming in this game being the honcho that we think they are. They're trying to prove themselves that we are the team that we've been showing y'all all season outside the Bama game. This is who we are. They're going to get somebody. LSU, you're serving yourselves up on a platter. This is a game y'all cannot overlook, and y'all can get humbled in this game. It's way more about Vandy than it is LSU. But for all the LSU fans, there's one in particular. You know what's about to happen. You can hype them up all you want to. We're gonna tune in this week. See what you got to say. You can hype them up all you want to. LSU is vulnerable. They're a limping puppy. They don't want to see no big dog. So we're gonna see about the run game and by the clock management offense. But I got Vandy Van by 10. Oof. I got 24-14. I think LSU's gonna have 5 to 6 offensive possessions.
It's gonna be rough, man.
You have 2 turnovers to get down to 4 chances to score the ball. That's what you got. You got 14-24. Vandy win.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. Listen, Vanderbilt knows exactly who they are. LSU is still trying to figure it out. If what you said is accurate, and Brian Kelly just told Nussmeier to just let it fly and play with more moxie or whatever. Kalen DeBoer did that with Ty Simpson after the Florida State loss. Why is he so late in that conversation with his quarterback? Listen, coaching, I got Vandy. Styles make fights.
Yep.
This style, Vanderbilt's style of football, is a style that will wreck any team in the country. Anybody and I'll put Ohio State in there. If Ohio State played Vanderbilt Saturday, Ohio State is going to struggle a little bit at times. You know what I'm saying? Like Vanderbilt plays a certain style of football that's just not necessarily game for everybody else in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? We're not used. If Bama didn't hold the ball longer than them, they could have lost that game. But that was a point that Bama said, we got to hold the ball longer than them, because if they hold it longer than me, we gonna lose. You know, if Vanderbilt holds the ball longer than you, you're gonna lose. And it's a very easy recipe with the team that they have assembled. So, LSU, not knowing who they are and what they want to do, Brian Kelly is in the process of losing the locker room. I'm talking about like right now. Like there's group text going on right now about the head coach at LSU in a negative way.
Can you believe you said at dinner?
Yeah. There's group text in Nashville about their head coach in a positive way. That whole team at Vanderbilt is ready to run through a brick wall for their coach. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby and their head coach end up at Penn State next year.
Man, look, listen, Vandy to Penn State ain't in the pipeline, right? Hey, we talked about it though. We had this conversation a few pods ago about what would happen or who's gonna be where this guy's going next.
Yep. Let him get a staple win like this.
Hey,
against a top 10 opponent.
Because right now he's not on anybody's list right now, unless he's not on Penn State's list.
He's not on big list. I think he's on list. Yeah.
Right. He's not on a big list, but he can work his way on a big list. And listen, if Vandy, I don't know if they can absorb another loss because they're Vanderbilt and make it into the playoff. But if the committee is looking at Vanderbilt objectively, the way they're supposed to be looking at Vanderbilt, take the name off the helmet and look at the team and what they have accomplished and what they've done, I believe at the end of this year, they will at least be in some sort of conversation. Like, should we talk about Vanderbilt? Kind of like how they – it's like Carolina was last year.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I think it could be that. But the unfortunate thing for Vanderbilt is I believe the coach leaves after this year. If they could keep him, if they could keep him, I believe they could, but Vanderbilt will go back into Vanderbilt hell again. It's very unfortunate for Vanderbilt. But
that's what you do for team for coaches, though. You gotta hit the iron while iron hot. Like strange comparison. Deion should have left Colorado last year.
Should have left.
Right.
Because now you're dealing with the transition of
now you look at the negative light.
Carrying, and I mean, it's not saying that Shedeur was carrying Colorado, but it's not saying Diego Pavia is carrying Vanderbilt. But him and the quarterback, the coach and the quarterback are a huge piece of that team.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Man, this type of win, they're talking about like this is a legacy type win. Right. Imagine knocking off Alabama last year, knocking off LSU this year.
Yep.
It's just it's writing itself. Like, and I hate to say it like that, but it's writing itself.
Yeah, and to your point, Sean, that you were saying about time of possession, you got to think Carolina went to Baton Rouge and won the time of possession last week. You look at this one, and then the quote I went back and found it as far as the reporter talking about when they were talking to Garrett, talking about some Brian Kelly has challenged him to get back to playing with swagger, and this is Nussmeier's quote. That feeling of helplessness at times, I let it get to me. That's the last thing you want to hear from your quarterback.
Your quarterback
on the road. You got to go on the road to go take on this Vandy team.
At the same time, letting Garrett Nussmeier be the quarterback who he used to be is a turnover machine. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I just feel like for LSU, we don't know what we want to do. Mm-hmm. Let's just say something and just hope something stick. Let's just throw it to the wall and let's just be a coach that says, you know what? Let's just say F it. Let's just throw the papers in the air and let our quarterback, man, sit down somewhere, Brian Kelly. You sound ridiculous. You're about to get embarrassed. You're about to get embarrassed. And you're not going to be able to yell at any reporter after the game. When it comes to this game right here, you're going to have to stand in front of somebody and be like Debo and just take the pain, which is honestly going to be a buyout.
Take it.
And some money. And just take it and run with it. Just take it and run with it. Go coach Penn State. Go coach Penn State. You'll survive at Penn State for 8 years. You know what you're doing with LSU.
They'll never hire him. But listen, I'm telling you, the firing of James Franklin and that buyout is going to make other schools trigger happy. Yeah. Penn State did something. I know that's not what we talk about for real, but Penn State, when they let him go, as good as he was, they may have started a trend. And I believe Hugh Freeze is probably going to be the next one. And then we're going to see more dominoes go. We're going to see a lot more midseason firings as the years go on, as college football continues to evolve. But again, that's another conversation for another day. But I believe Brian Kelly is also on that podium also as one of the next ones on the hot seat to be let go if this season does not go the way it's supposed to, because he cannot get control of his doggone team.
Yep. And because of that, LSU, you on upset alert. Upset alert.
Real quick, I'm on a little bit of a streak right now as far as calling some upsets. So I just want to say just some eyes to keep your eyes on real quick. Texas A&M, you on my watch list at Arkansas this weekend.
Maybe.
Right now. Between them and at the same time, Auburn, I know you lost. put Missouri on the road at Auburn.
Yeah, Missouri's on upset alert this week.
Those two games, and I called it with the Texas one in Florida a couple weeks ago. When you looking around and you watch your game, just check your phone real quick. Just another game that kind of
Texas A&M
side
riding
eye.
a little too high right now. Though. They riding a little too high.
It's gonna be
They
interesting.
not back down. But the SEC is running college football this weekend, man. There's so many SEC good SEC football games on this weekend.
Yeah.
Running the town this weekend.
For sure. Well, Vic, hey, we ain't mean to turn it into a call your name so because I know you're gonna watch this. Hey, we love to have you back on. It ain't no hard feelings.
No
we
disrespect.
love you. We love you over here. It just it snowballed real quick. We had
I know, might have to get him on here to defend himself one day.
Yeah, we gonna have to get you
Gotta
back.
give him the day. Gotta give him the day
For sure. Tell us up in the comments if you gotta tell us up in the comments. Say what you gotta say. Don't go quiet if what we talk about transpires though. But we'll see y'all next time. Y'all hit the comment, hit the subscribe button, hit a like. Please comment on the videos. We love to have fun. We love to go back and forth. As you can see with our longtime friend and our commenter Vic, that's usually under a lot of the videos. We like to have fun. Give us the comments, shoot the arrows, do whatever you got to do, pick us apart, do whatever. We love it. Hey, get back to it. But until then, we will see y'all, and we are now in October. We've been teasing it for a minute. We here. Hey, let's go.